video on realtor showings safety tips. I have been to a number of showings now for myself and also for other agents. End up in many different types of situations. Make sure that I'm safe and my fellow realtors are safe when they're viewing these homes, because sometimes you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Like for instance, today I had a showing for another agent and it was for an investment property and it was a duplex, so both sides were occupied. Luckily, the one side that I was able to get into, the tenant was very nice, very kind. I didn't feel uneasy or anything at all once I got in there. But you know, you just never know. The situation could have been much worse. I wasn't able to get in the second half of the duplex because the tenant wasn't there. But the tenant from the other side did inform me that they had big dogs. I asked him if the property next door was occupied and if the tenant was there. He wasn't sure if the tenant was there, but it was occupied, and he made sure to say, oh, before you leave, I do want you to know that they do have 2 big dogs, and I really appreciate him letting me know that. I wasn't able to get in the property anyway, but that was some good information just in case I would have had to go into the property. So just situations like that, you just never know. And he wasn't aware that there was a showing today, so I kind of caught him off guard. Before I went in there, of course, I let him know that, you know, I'm a realtor and there was a showing scheduled for today, and that's what I was there for. He let me in with no problems, but it could have been any other type of situation. I was parked there preparing myself to go inside. I was on FaceTime with my mom, and I was telling her, we were talking about the situation with the 16-year-old that just happened a few days ago, where he ended up going to the wrong house and got shot twice by a guy. And, you know, that was in my head at the time. And I'm like, I hope, you know, they're aware that I'm coming. I hope they're not, you know, I hope they don't think that I'm just someone random or somebody trying to do something that they have no business doing at their house. And yeah, so luckily, thank God, it wasn't no situations like that. But like I said, you just never know about these situations. So that's why this is one of the first videos that I ever wanted to do. I have a list of videos that I wanted to do pertaining to real estate and other stuff, but safety tips was definitely one of the ones that I wanted to make sure that I do. And now that I've been to some showings myself, I've had experience. So to kind of see what, you know, different situations you can come into. Some of the areas I've gone to have been really nice areas, you know, feel homey and nice neighborhoods. You see people walking around, no issue with the area. And then there are other areas, other properties where they're in the bad neighborhoods and you, or neighborhoods that make you just feel uncomfortable by the way they look and the environment around it. I had one like that before this showing, and the showing that I had today was for a showing for the same agent that I had for the last showing, and the last property that I showed for that agent was an investment property as well. The house wasn't horrible, but the area around it made me feel kind of uneasy. It was just a lot of rough looking buildings, a lot of yards around it with like trash, stores around it with people just kind of, you know, hanging around and that type of stuff. Yeah, those type of situations. But it turned out fine. I got all the clips I needed because the agent needed me to do a video walkthrough for some clients that were out of town. Same situation today. I had to do video walkthrough. So I didn't have actually anybody with me either one of those times. Anything can make you feel unsafe when you're showing these homes. It can be, or showing properties at all, because sometimes you don't meet the clients until it's the first showings. But so sometimes you don't know, you know, who you're meeting or, you know, what you're getting yourself into. Sometimes you aren't able to see the property on the MLS because it's it might be, you know, private property or something that's not listed on the MLS, which was the case for my last showing. It wasn't listed on the MLS. So I wasn't able to kind of see the property or the area. The one today, I was able to see the outside of the property, but not much. That was it. That was the only photo that was on the MLS, was the picture of the outside of the house, kind of like a close-up. So I wasn't able to see anything about the inside of the house or anything like that. But I do like to, that is one thing that I do before I go on showings. I see if I can look up the area or look up the property on the MLS to kind of get an idea of what I'm getting myself into. Because if it's a situation where I know I'm not going to feel comfortable, then either I can ask for somebody to go with me, or I just cancel the showing altogether, because I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I feel unsafe. Today, going into it, and when I first looked at the property, I kind of felt, you know, like maybe I need to take, you know, somebody with me just in case, just to, you know, be on the safe side, because of the fact that it was duplex and the properties were occupied. I wasn't sure if the tenants were going to be there or not. And going into a space where someone is living, you don't know who they have inside, you know, those places, and you don't know what type of people they are, and you don't know if they have anybody else in there with them that, you know, may not be in the right mindset, or maybe looking to, you know, do something crazy. But one thing about me, I'm gonna forever be, you know, a woman of God and stand on my faith, but I'm also gonna be safe at the same time too, so to the best of my ability. So I did ask my husband to go with me, but two of our kids were here, the baby and my second born, because she wasn't feeling well, so she didn't go to school today. And before we left the house, she was feeling bad and felt like she had to throw up. So I told him just stay with them, and I should be fine. I'll just send my location, so he'll know where, you know, the address of the property, in case, you know, something ever happened and he wasn't able to get it. And I do this anytime I go on the show, and I just make sure I share my address with family members and stuff. I also, when I got there, I have a second phone. So when I got there, I made sure to have my mom on FaceTime on the other phone, and that phone in my pocket, while I did my recordings and everything on my main phone. As I was going into the property, I made sure to update my husband on, I'm walking in the property. Of course, my mom was on FaceTime, so she knew. And when I left out of the property and was on my way home, I let him know that I'm on my way back now. I'm outside the property now. I'm on my way back. So, you know, you don't put nobody in a state of worrying or wondering if everything's okay, because they haven't heard from you since you went in. So, but yeah, but let me go through my list of these safety tips. Some of them, you know, kind of maybe common sense. Some of them you may know to do. And then there's others that you might not even think about, you know. Some of them I didn't even think about. But I also saw other realtors on this group that I'm on Facebook share some safety tips as well. So some of my tips come from myself. Some come from the comments from that particular post, and some might have come from some of my training. And I'm going to say them as I have them written down, and I'm sure there are many more that I don't have written down, or maybe I can't remember off the top of my head. And if I do remember them, I'll include them maybe in a part 2 or something like that. But for now, the first one that I have on the list is always park on the curb and not in the driveway, so that you can't get blocked in. And this was a tip, I think, that I got from the Facebook group, because I never thought about it that way. But then when they kind of broke it down, they were saying, you know, you never want to park in the driveway, and then a client that don't have the best intentions, or, you know, somebody who might be looking to set you up or whatever, might park behind you, block you in, you can't get out. You don't want to be in a situation like that. So that's one tip, is to always park on the curb, so that if you need to run out of the house for any reason, or get away for any reason, it's easy to get to your car on the curb, get in and drive off, rather than having to, you know, get in the car and there's a car behind you and you can't back out, or you have to, you know, put the car in reverse and wait to look for traffic to see if anything's coming both ways before you back out, if nothing isn't behind you. So the safest thing to do is park on the side of the curb. And so that's what I did today, and that's what I've done in all my showings. I make sure that I park on the side, not where I can get blocked in or anything. The second tip is to always park where the driver door faces the house, in case you have to get out quickly. That goes, you know, kind of goes hand in hand with what I said, the first tip, which was to always park on the curb, but you want to make sure that your door is parked where you can jump in quickly, where the driver door is facing the house. Today I had to park across the street from the property that I was showing, but the door was still facing the house. So, you know, if something were to happen, I could have just ran across the street, got straight in my car, and not have to run around for any reason. I was closest to my door. It is something good to know and keep in mind. Another tip is to always let the clients walk in first and never behind you. The showings that I've had with clients actually with me, I've let them walk in first, because I just naturally feel uneasy with people who I don't know walking closely behind me anyway. But going into, you know, a vacant home or something and having somebody behind you, you don't know what's in their hands, you know, what's in their pockets, you know, what they have or anything like that. And, you know, just imagine that type of situation where you're in the front and they're in the back, and maybe they're pushing you forward or something. You don't want to be in that type of situation. So it's safer just to let them walk in first, and, you know, just let them walk and, you know, kind of see how they maneuver through the house, through the property, and just stand back to make sure that their body language looks, you know, fine to you, because body language can tell you a lot about somebody's, you know, intention or what they plan to do. And if they seem like, you know, they're uncomfortable, or they seem awkward, or like something that just isn't right, you'll have the opportunity to just turn around and get your behind out of that situation, rather than, you know, you're in the front and they got you blocked in, you can't get to the door. So the safest thing is to let them walk in first and you go behind. Another one was always meet at a public place first. Because like I said, sometimes when you are showing these properties, you might not be able to meet the clients ahead of time. So sometimes that's your first meeting is at the first property. Your first face-to-face meeting is at the first property, or maybe you're showing a property for another agent or something, and you haven't met the client, but the agents have, but you're not familiar with them, so you really don't know them, you know, or you haven't really been able to feel them out for yourself. So the safest thing to do is meet in a public place, like the parking lot of, you know, a grocery store, Walmart or something like that, because everybody don't have good intentions. And there has been situations, which is why a lot of these safety tips have arisen, because there's been situations where realtors, agents, showing agents, whatever, have been in situations where they have been robbed, have, you know, been tortured. You know, it's been situations where things didn't turn out good for the agents, because as an agent, you don't want to hear about anybody in the field that you're in or any other field being hurt or harmed in any way, because then that makes you, you know, that gives you anxiety or makes you feel unsafe about doing your job, you know. Another tip is to carry something to protect yourself. Never feel guilty about doing whatever it takes to make sure that you're safe. Because like I said, everybody don't have the best intentions. And you rather you have what it takes to keep yourself safe than to not have it because you decided that, oh, I'm just going to trust my gut, or I'm just going to trust the situation, and, you know, I'll be fine. And then you never know when you might end up in a situation where you need it. So it's best to take something anyway. Some people might not feel safe carrying type of protection or anything, but whatever feels safe to you to use if you're in a situation to be able to save yourself, do what it takes. Take those items. I have multiple. I have multiple items. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But I keep protection on me because a lot of times it's females, it's women out here showing these properties and doing these open houses, and people know you're by yourself. If you're a lot of times you're by yourself. Some agents take, you know, people with them all the time when they go on these things, but a lot of times agents are by themselves, and a lot of us are women, female, and people prey on that. So we want to be safe at all costs. The next tip is to lock the door once entering the house. I always do this, especially if I'm at a showing where I have to do a video showing and I'm in there by myself. Particularly the last showing that I had, like I said, the area wasn't that good. I could, you know, see neighbors in the area, you know, looking, and it didn't have a lock. The door didn't have a lockbox. They had an actual code. But when I went in, I made sure to lock the door behind me because I didn't want to give nobody the opportunity to just slide on in. I was there by myself. I didn't want nobody, you know, to get the opportunity to come in there while I'm in there showing the house. I'm in a back room or something. I don't even know they're in there because the door is unlocked. So always, always, always make sure you lock the door behind you, even if you're with clients, because sometimes you might have a female client that's with you and it's just the two of you, or male. I'm not going to, you know, exclude the males, because there are some just some crazy people altogether that are looking to harm anybody or looking to get money out of anybody who they can get it out of. And if they see, you know, 2-3 people going into a home and, you know, they get the idea that, oh, they may have money, you know, let me go, you know. So yeah, lock the doors behind you, because you don't want to give them an easy access to come in there and do anything now, you know, anything crazy. So, and the last tip that I have on here is to share your schedule and location with family and friends. There's apps. Of course, there's text. You know, there's so many different ways that you can share your location with your family members, friends. Share it with multiple people if you feel it necessary, so that someone will always know where you're at and keep them updated on your location. Send them the address to the homes, the properties that you're showing or that you're going to. Update them when you are there, when you're going in, and when you're coming out. If it's a situation where, you know, you need them to know where you are, not only because of crazy people, but also because, you know, things just happen. You know, things happen and you just can never predict some things. You can't anticipate some things happening. So in the event that anything might happen, at least you don't have access to be able to call somebody. People at least know where you're at and they can know what areas to go in because you gave them your address. And of course, relating to real estate, if you are at a property and something has gone wrong, something crazy has happened, you know that somebody knows where you're at and they can start looking there. So yeah, so those are some of the safety tips that I have, and I wanted to share for real estate agents or anybody that's in a profession where they have to do similar things. Just take those safety precautions and do whatever it takes to make yourself feel safe and keep yourself safe. If I come up with or figure out or remember any other tips, like I said, I'll do a part 2 on that. But I hope you all enjoyed the videos. If you have any other tips that you would like to add, leave them in the comments and I'll add them to the part 2 of the video. And thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload. Have a great day.